And there's a lot of prestige behind the term sniper. I always think of Carlos Hathcock, the greatest sniper in all of United States military history, practically wrote the book and started the Marine Scout Sniper program. Or, with the War on Terror and the War in Operation Iraqi Freedom, Chris Kyle, famous from his book and his movies. We hear the stories of, the great shots these marksmen made, taking out bad guys or covering a platoon. But what about the light machine gunner? The role they play, carrying a heavier rifle, heavier type of ammunition, but can lay down that suppressive fire. When enemies have got your comrades pinned down, able to maneuver while putting themselves in the position where they're vulnerable. And lightweight machine gunners have contributed a lot to protecting men as well. Let's get into it. You'll hear the term SAW quite a bit referring to automatic weapons. SAW, a lot of people say it's because it uses the chain belt-fed ammunition. In actuality, SAW just means your squad's automatic weapon. Whether it be the 240B, 249, 50 caliber turret. Let's cover the history of some of these small arms or even larger machine guns, when they came to be, who the designers were, how they changed warfare, and how some of the most simple designs are still used today in every warfare you can think of. Starting from the 1800s with Browning, all the way up to Maxim in his water-cooled design, ranging from a rifle company's standard calibers all the way up to 50 cal. At the beginning of the 1900s, Browning had invented the M2, Maxim had the Maxim automatic machine gun, and Hotchkiss came out with the first rifle infantry style fully automatic weapon, the Hotchkiss M249. However, Browning, being John Browning, wanting to aid the United States military, in 1917 started the development of the Browning automatic rifle. More reliable, durable, easier to maneuver, fired 30-06 round, everything the United States military was looking for at the time. This greatly aided the United States in World War I and trench warfare. Air-cooled, didn't require more than one man to operate it. Browning put these into mass production. Browning had the Browning M1917 and the M1919, water-cooled, fully automatic machine guns. These were larger caliber, usually had to be mounted on a turret on the back of vehicles, were great for a defensive post. The United States needed something smaller, something that was lightweight, that could be carried by one man, that could fire more rounds than the bar was putting out at the time. The bar could not keep up with the German MG-34 in World War II, which is basically the first light machine gun, belt-fed, and could be operated by one person, as well as mounted in multiple different applications. In 1952, development of a new lightweight machine gun began its development, an all-purpose weapon system that can be used on multiple applications. It's light to carry, as well as only requires one person to operate. The M60, the all-purpose light machine gun. Although the belt feds could shoot out 100 to 1,000 rounds per minute, they still had their issues. Part of that being that the old belts were made out of canvas and had to be loaded in individually. The canvas belts tended to be just excess laying around and cause issues. The automatic weapon systems would get too hot. Sometimes these canvas belts would actually light on fire if they weren't cooled. Until the Browning M1919 came to be, when they established the M1 metal link. Now, the M1 metal link was used for higher artillery vehicles and aircraft. However, the M13 link came out, and that's where we start. The M1 did have disintegrating links, but only for aircrafts, and they figured why not do it for small arms. And what was great about the M13 disintegrating link is that it actually pick how many rounds you needed at the time, not just a standard 100, 200, etc. This would become incredibly popular with the M60, 7.62-51 automatic weapon system. 1957, Self-Defense Close Combat Organization, or SACO, invented the M60, belt-fed automatic weapon system. This medium light machine gun could be manned by one person, shot 7.62-51 with the M13 disintegrating metal link system. More mobile and maneuverable for the Marine Corps, especially in Vietnam, was able to be mounted tripods, helicopters, even attack boats, able to shoot 1,200 rounds per minute, even still used in some militaries today, manufactured now by the U.S. Ordnance. It would be the new standard for the squad automatic weapon system. The Marine Corps machine gunner perfected the use of the M60 in Vietnam. Whether it be a doorman on a helicopter, or laying down suppressive fire to get their platoon out of a tight spot, the M60 saved a lot of lives and terrorized the Viet Cong. The M60 was so large and went through so much ammo they called it a pig. Whenever they patrolled, they'd say, "I'm taking the pig out for a walk." Not to be confused with somebody being called a pig attached to a sniper platoon, a professionally instructed gunman. There were multiple Medal of Honor recipients from the Marine Corps that were machine gunners, including Lance Corporal Richard Pittman, Gunnery Sergeant John L. Caney, The M60 had proven its worth over and over, many times in Vietnam. However, in 1963, Eugene Stoner, founder of the Armalite 15, AR-15 platform, had a solution. It was with the ammunition. With 7.62-51, it was a different round than what all the other Marines were carrying at the time, which is the 5.56 and the M16 rifles. Stoner's 63. It was effective, it was adopted, however, it wasn't used very, very often because it didn't produce the same results the United States military was looking for in Vietnam. 1977, looking for another light machine gun to carry the 5.56 caliber, the M249 SAW, made by FN, the squad's automatic weapon. The SAW was easier to maintain. One person could handle it, run with it, use the same ammunition as everybody else in their platoon if they were low, and is still used today. In 1983, there was a halt placed on this by the military due to the fact there were sharp edges. Barrels would overheat and deform, and there were also gaps in the machinery where dust and sand particles could block and cause it to malfunction. The U.S. Army and the United States Marine Corps put a halt in the order until these corrections were made. In 1984, the United States Army adopted it. In 1985, the Marine Corps adopted it. The M249 could fire off 850 rounds per minute. Similar to the M60, it used M60 M13 link system that disintegrates after use. You use the M27 disintegrating link. There was an attachable pouch that you could place up to 100 rounds in. There was also an attachable box you could place on the firearm to hold rounds as well. However, this tended to slide off and wasn't popular in the beginning. Squad automatic weapon was used in Desert Storm, Mogadishu, Kosovo, War on Terror, and as well as Iraq. In the 1970s, around the same time, FN was developing the 249 SAW. They were attempting to develop another medium machine gun to replace the M60. This medium machine gun would be M40. Able to be mounted to a vehicle, helicopters, even boats. The Marine Corps was so impressed they developed it into a medium infantry machine gun that could be manned by one person as well as usually a team of two. It took the 7.62-51, used the M13 link system as the M60 did, and brought into the infantry. The M240B has been used in multiple conflicts, but mostly in the War on Terror, Operation Iraqi Freedom. Notable users, Medal of Honor recipient Sergeant Dakota Myers, the Marine Corps.